The second week of competition is upon us, is arrived. Yeah, we're off to a great start with commentary as usual. But well, if I claimed to be professional, I wouldn't be running the series. That's for sure.
And concussion effects from Watkins Glen.
Yeah, no shit. Um, yeah, you won't see me. You won't see me racing the rest of this month because of that, and you won't see Isabel racing the rest of this month either because of that. You also won't see Noriaki Nakasato racing this week because of a different race.
Yeah, the stewarding room this week was fun.
Yeah, I don't really have to do much stewarding usually, because up to this point in the challenge series' history, it's mostly just been, just let them have at it, or, you're gonna kill somebody, get the fuck out of here. It's been very much off or on.
To be fair, you only had to deal with the one incident, not the Isabel incident, since you were involved in the Isabel incident. But
And,
anyways, welcome to race one of the week here at Tokyo Expressway.
yeah, the 640 class, and, well, the post-race screen looks cloudy but dry, but there was some moisture on the circuit when the race is actually going on, so be prepared for that as we get down to trackside. And we are green for the first race of the week. The news report, which I've only just started doing news reports for the challenge series. I'm surprised I could type it out without making many typos considering my state of affairs, but I mentioned that there were a handful of new drivers for this week. Some of them are on this grid, but only I think 2 actually. Roxanne Reyes is the first. And she's the first of 4 new representatives for the Southern Speed Co. racing team, run by Tyler McIntosh, who's not in this race because he doesn't actually have a car in the 640 class. Michiko Taniguchi is the POV driver in her pink van.
That is a sight to behold.
But I'd say her brother's the favorite to win, that or her other teammate, Kyozo Katano, who started on pole and is leading from pole at the current moment. They both have much more experience on this expressway than Michiko does. But, then again, the van's already up to P8, so I don't know. Try to get a look at... Yumiya has a new car. She's not a new driver, but it also is a damaged car, apparently. Yeah,
That is some significant damage, actually.
Probably turn 1 nonsense. Oh! Yes, car bottomed out under heavy braking and just turned dead left. Clearly AMT still has some work to do on the setup of this car. As the van has overtaken our singular Croatian representative in the challenge series, one Dean Cross. Also one of 2 different MR2s in the race. There's a lot of Toyotas in the race, actually. Because Kyozo's in an MR2, Akira's in a 3rd gen Supra, we have the Toyota Alphard here. Sorry, Toyota minivan, 2nd MR2. And there's a Toyota Yaris that Nico's driving. And there's a Celica driven by August Embers. So yeah, there's like 5 or 6 Toyotas. I thought you'd be doing better.
Japan.
2 Tokyo street racers are running last and second last. That is not a great showing. Also, curiously, Michiko is the only driver on the grid who's running racing hard tires, whereas everybody else started on their intermediates because of the track being damp.
Well, here's the thing: is as the first lap would really only be the first lap's the sketchiest because it was right at that cutoff line. But as you can see by the official challenge series graphic at the bottom of the screen, we are actually in technically dry conditions on the racing line.
Yeah, racing tires are slightly better. If you could have a softer compound in the regulations, you'd be dumb not to switch to them on the end of lap 1, but because hards are the only racing tires we allow, for things that aren't 750R, it's kind of 50-50 and you might as well not lose 20 seconds getting off of the intermediates. But I think Michiko's logic was, I'm in a minivan, I have 4-wheel drive and plenty of ground clearance. If there is somehow standing water somewhere, I'm the best equipped vehicle on the road to take care of it and not have any repercussions.
Yeah, that has the seating capacity and the weight of a small bus. So yeah, this thing was perfect for the turn 1 right at that crossover point. Almost a crossover attack, if you would. But now, as we are at the end of lap 2, and well, there is a little bit of sprinkling going on, but
it's enough for the windshield
technically
wipers.
dry track.
Yeah, the sprinkling that's going on is only just enough for windshield wipers. It looks like it's not actually making any more water accumulate on the road surface. Either way, the weather is, I think, actually picking up as we say that. It's back to the crossover point as you speak, so, you know, perhaps they're now basically dead even. That's about 30% precipitation when you're not in the tunnel. And these two are teammates, as a reminder. This is a Taniguchi race team. Actually not run by Michiko nor Akira, but by their older brother Hikari. Oh, Noir, what did you... Oh! Difference in braking performance, and the newbie's not prepared for it, and that's a Group 4 BMW. So much better racing brakes on that car versus an old Dodge Super Bee.
Yeah, welcome to the Challenge Series. Your first incident happens to be rear-ending an admin.
And one who's already been up my ass, left, right, and center because of the, you know, the 30-day suspension her driver got.
I just blocked her number.
She was calling you about it?
Mm-hmm!
Christ.
Because I voted to suspend Isabel.
Everybody did. The only two who didn't vote were me and Noir because we couldn't vote because she was her team owner and I was the car that got dumped.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got on me about it.
She probably also got on Thrasher and Iwasaki and Nitori and yeah, I'm honestly not surprised. Her pigtails suddenly looked like a short wavy bob very quickly. I want to speak to the manager? My goddess in Christ, you are one of the managers. Could have a battle for the lead. Minivan versus MR2. Only in the Challenge Series do you get this.
Round 1. Fight.
Try this around the outside. You're gonna need to pack a lunch. Well, okay, maybe you packed a lunch. And I think you...
All-wheel drive.
Well, that's not really a corner you need all-wheel drive for. It's a corner you need mechanical grip and aerodynamics. You'd think the MR2 would have that in spades compared to a Toyota minivan, but nope. I think Michiko just put her foot down and Kyozo was just like, yeah, you got that. Let's not risk our cars here. We have a 1-2 for the team basically secure, and this team doesn't run very many races in the calendar year, so... I think he thought about a dive or something, but just decided, nah. He's pretty single file at the moment. Never mind. Dean Cross is damaged, and yep. So I thought it was going to be a battle between Subarus, considering how close Umi and Uni were, but nope. Dean Cross misses his braking point and finds the back end of a 22B. So both NFR cars that were originally running as high as 4.6 end up getting ass-packed at the hairpin and get jack and shit. So I'm sure they'll be crying for race fans for that or something. I don't know. Final lap of the race. Looks like, oh yeah, Kitano has a huge amount of overspeed. That's going to be a massive slipstream on a minivan because that thing is going to cut through all of the air. Umi has even more overspeed, 175, 177, damn near 180 in the 640 class. That Subaru is hauling the damn mail. So she's gonna get back up to second place. And four-wheel drive advantage is nullified because they're both all-wheel drive, so Michiko's just gonna long arm it around the outside anyway. Somehow gets the drive off. I don't know how Michiko managed that. In the background, the battle for fourth between Ryza Stout and Keith Kilgore. The Camaro just got a little sideways there. I'm honestly not terribly surprised, given the road conditions and everything. I don't envy being in a convertible in the rain. But then again, the rain stopped by this point. Yozo's going to need to have a good S-section here. You could even call it an S-section if he wants a shot at the hairpin. Or he can use the obviously greater top end of the MR2 to try and win the drag race. It'd probably be the least risky attempt to steal this victory away from his teammate. Just do it on the straightaway. And they get on the brakes at the same time, so he has no intent on diving. It looks like he dove, but I think that's just a difference in racing line, because Michiko took the late apex. Which she has to do to minimize the straight line advantage the MR2 and even the Impreza have, for that matter. I don't think we're going to be seeing a drag race here. It's going to be close, but I don't think that MR2 is going to get alongside. Up to the start-finish line, Michiko Taniguchi wins from Tokyo Expressway. I thought it'd be her brother who would do that. Kyozo takes second from pole. Umi remains in third, and Ryza does eventually get the move done on Kilgore, presumably down the front straightaway. He still gets fifth. Nico leads a train of presumably the cars that got damaged at some point during the race. Actually, no, I think these two didn't get damaged, and Dean Cross was leading the group of cars that did. Oh, that's the end of the replay. Did Noir call you again, somehow?
No, that was Isabel. Apologizing for the 8th time this week.
Yeah, she's apologized to me like 6 times. I almost blocked her number just because I had to use my phone for other things, and I can't use those other things if she's holding up the line all the time.
Yeah.
She gave me her whole backstory and everything, and I'm just like, I mean, that's terrible, but I didn't need your life story over a racing incident that was clumsy, but not, you know, I've seen worse. But, anyway, yeah, so replay is being oversight. I think Dean Cross was the one was leading basically the group of cars that had been damaged in the race, and Connor Nezang and Nico were the last two that didn't get any damage and just didn't have much pace, because one's a Civic and the other is a four-wheel drive hot hatch, but the Yaris's turn circle and wheelbase is just really sketchy and low grip.
It may be four-wheel drive, but it handles like front-wheel drive.
No, actually it handles like mid-engined. So she says. The wheelbase on this thing is so goddamn short.
It's a rally car.
Yeah. Rally cars normally have a lot of other things on them to give them traction this car doesn't have.
Fair enough.
Also, dirt and tarmac, or dirt and gravel and stuff will automatically reduce your grip, meaning this would be less of an issue. Not really a thing you can get on slightly damp asphalt. Anyway, in the interest of episode time limit, I'm gonna fuck off to the Tuesday race. We made it to Tuesday. Now, that was very hard. I don't know why I said it that way. We've arrived at Tuesday, yes. Anyway, yeah, the ever familiar Fuji Speedway will host the 675 class. Basically, just the
Mountain.
Chown. Basically, the Chown series version of making vanilla ice cream, or a ham sandwich with mayo and cheese.
That sounds good.
I had one for dinner last night. But yeah, just the staple food of the challenge series. Just here's the middle ground class at Fuji because 675 has probably the most variety in terms of cars that can actually be viable. You could take a frickin' McLaren here, or you could take a minivan here. We already had a minivan win once this week. We are green from the funny volcano track, and Uni is the POV driver, her car with absolutely no torque curve apparently. Bring on T1 shenanigans there, 3 wide. Fenny is going for the gold already, and she's gonna get it, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, we've already got bullshit. 2 of the cars that damaged each other in the turn 1 scuffle are, well, Tomlin, another new driver under Southern Speedco, ran into the back of his teammate.
Man, that's an absolutely beautiful livery.
Tyler made this one, actually, not me. Just breaking the 4th wall for a sec, but yeah. Or did you saying that because the camera had your car shot?
Oh no, this is an absolutely beautiful paint scheme. Yeah, whoever Tyler hires for his team's liveries, yeah, they definitely earned their paycheck for this. But
Tomlin
anyway,
then gets ahead of his teammate in the hairpin. And then here is Reyes' other car, which is apparently her own personal Camaro. So she technically made the delivery for this.
it gives off Bumblebee vibes.
I called it Golden Hornet.
Oh my god. Yep, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, we also have Giovanni Guzman in, what, the Hendrick Motorsports?
I've never seen this paint scheme somewhere before.
Deja vu. I've just seen this paint scheme before. What are you doing back here? Oh yeah, that's right, she started back here. I'm done. And then the only other new driver is Bonnie Ville, who I don't think that's her actual name, but if that is her actual name, that's kind of hilarious that she chose to then drive a 2004 Pontiac Bonneville in the Challenge Series, but just with a heavily upgraded engine. Made the normal V8 Cadillac Northstar engine that comes in the car sound more like something I hear in a Corvette.
Huh, that would explain why Emmy, while walking through the garage area earlier, had her engine swap senses kick in when she walked past that car. Weird, but
Kind of pinching Reyes there, it's kind of just close racing, I'd say.
yeah, nothing
We've
too
missed her. We've missed her adventure. She's already up to 4th after a lap and change.
There's a
Only
mountain.
Only needs to pass you, your newest teammate, and her own teammate to get to the lead from here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's surrounded by GM. She's got you in front of her, and then Camaro, Firebird, Bonneville.
That is one weird looking Pontiac, though, not gonna lie.
Could be a body kit or something. Obviously, you wouldn't run a completely bone stock Bonneville here. Not externally or internally. And obviously, we know it's not internally stock. This thing's pushing NASCAR horsepower.
It's also right-hand drive.
What the fuck? Interesting call.
It looks like something that came out of the Demon Sports Garage. Speaking of things coming out of the Demon Sports Garage, we got a massive battle going up ahead for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, we had multiple battles. We just had Reyes get into the back of Caswell, which gave the Firebird damage, so that's going to be not popular. We also had You in a drag race with Uni down the front straightaway.
Freebird was not playing loud enough.
No. She just kind of slips ahead of you down the inside, so no real controversy there. Barbara's already up to 9th. She started 18th, by the way, so...
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see what she does.
And Guzman, I think, just followed her up the field, more or less.
Yeah, when Barbara makes a hole, you gotta fill the hole.
What is he, a construction worker? Also, that is my mother. She just changed her last name legally. Still the same driver, still the same cars. As Bernice is trying to make a play for the lead.
Oh!
Uni drew good to the back of her teammate there. Oh, that was contact. That's the grass, Fenny. Fenny got her quarter panel, and Bernice, I guess, didn't like that and kind of put her in the grass a tiny bit. And now Uni's gonna go down the inside. I have the camera on the wrong car. Thought it was on Uni. Nope, it's on Fenny. Crossover to... Never mind, Bernice parked the bus. You teach her that?
Yep.
Why am I not at all surprised?
Because when you have offense, you also need to have defense.
I'm surprised she even took that advice. Knowing what I know about her, I figured she was all offense.
You just have to word as like protective offense. Don't ask me how that makes sense. As she is still holding off for now.
The NFR pair. I'm surprised you weren't pushing to get up there. It won't be long before it's an NFR trio at this rate. No, I mean the race isn't really long enough for that, I don't think. But now we just have the 4 GM ducks in a row. But if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, why is it right-hand drive? I'm not gonna get over that. Why would you right-hand drive swap up on if it wasn't? How the fuck does she even have the knowledge to do that to a Pontiac?
Speaking of GM battles, as the rally chicken returns to its natural habitat and has to go to the grass.
And Barbara got ahead of Reyes. Barbara passing what is effectively not quite teammate, but considering Reyes drives for Southern Speed Co., which kind of formed from our Barbara's old team, there's some weird way to make that sound logical. What? I think we were looking at the wrong battle. So, the LC500, I don't know how exactly the interaction between these 3 cars goes. They're all front-engine rear-wheel drive, just torque curves are different. Down the inside, chucks it in there. I don't know why Uni is bothering here. Charter's just gonna win in a straight line anyway. Oh, that's why I heard the horn. Bernice kind of just didn't really shove Uni out per se, but definitely was just like, I paid for the whole racetrack, I'm gonna use the racetrack type maneuver.
Yeah, steel body versus plastic.
Here's Fenny.
And here's Laminoid.
Oh, I think Uni probably be annoyed too. And big collision. Fenny goes off the track. Bernice gets a mighty thwack. So we'll see what Uni saw here. Yep, that's, literally just clears herself mid-braking zone. And the momentum of that just shot Fenny at Bernice's car. Very interesting driving from both NFR characters here.
Yeah, that's definitely something. As meanwhile, battle for 4th.
And you're putting the new Minnesota girl through her paces. Round the outside goes the Bonneville Schrodinger's Pontiac. And Barbara's right there to pick up the pieces, maybe, if if this fight got more intense. I think she was sideways there out of that long right. You send it. You try to dirt track the shit. Kind of.
Yeah, what's the point of having a rally car if you don't rally it anymore?
She kind of... I don't think she liked that. She kind of gave you a bit of a door check there.
Yeah, all's fair and a little bit of... Yeah, Robin's Racing also has, we've had a change for the lead. Did not see that. How does this happen?
Well, it's down at the bottom of the hill. That's a long way fucking back. Jesus, yeah, missed that. Just barged Bernice out of the way. Clearly did not like the exit of the last turn on the previous lap. Or just the fact that these three have been throwing haymakers. Oh, there we go. Give it back. Into the door again. Fenny probably tried to do the same thing, but was like, don't wreck my teammate. Uni gets back to the lead into the next hairpin. And Fenny is now going to be sending it through the middle. Bernice parks the bus on Uni again. And,
drag race.
Yeah, and I think Fenny's going to win that drag race.
Gaining, and...
Stalled out. Fenny is the winner after some interesting braking maneuvers in both the first and last corners of the circuit. NFR 1-3. Breeze probably should have won that race, let's face it, but, you know. NFR drivers clearly had some other ideas. Bonnie Ville's going to cross in P4, and you are going to barely out-drag that Corvette. Speaking of drag race, that is, nope, that is Torres for 7th, a pair of Southern Speedco drivers dueling to the finish. And Guzman's going to get 8th on his debut, Bonnie 4th on hers. Debut for the Golden Hornet results in 7th. And I think these 10 are the only ones who got through the race with no damage. Well, didn't pit for damage anyway, because obviously we had plenty of fucking damage up here. Actually, I don't know. These two might just not have had very much pace. They are in JDM cars. They're not really known for their horsepower, necessarily. Other than this thing, which legally qualifies as a NASCAR. But, yeah, that wraps up Tuesday. Definitely do not want to be a fly-on-the-wall post-race for that. Unfortunately, I think you had to be. Boy. We don't get paid enough for this shit.
We're getting paid?
Yep.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Yep. Yep, it is Wednesday. We had between two lakes, as it translates to. It's probably not the first time I've made that comment. The 715 class will race here, so a bit of a shorter circuit for this class, so we'll be doing 6 whole laps here. It'll probably still be shorter than the last race. That was only 5. And I think also shorter than the 4-lap race we had at Tokyo Expressway, because that's an even longer track, and the cars are slower. We're just going in reverse. We're just going in reverse at this point. Doing more laps on shorter tracks with faster cars. We've evolved from, like, touring car racing to NASCAR, kind of.
Yay, pain!
I don't think we have a pain class, although if I had to consider, I think that'd be 750 Street.
Yeah,
because a lot of those cars are difficult to drive, and that's why I went for an all-wheel drive Lamborghini.
And now, before we get sidetracked any further, let's get on to the chaos.
We are green for the chaos. The pole sitter has immediately been dethroned by a pair of all-wheel drive supercars. Jack Carver is the last of the new recruits for Southern Speedco, and his car is effectively doesn't have the team logo on it anywhere. That's a good job on whoever designed this one. It was probably Jack Carver himself, because he doesn't strike me as somebody who's terribly bright. He just hit it big in a big casino game in Vegas, and is like, hey, I'm gonna go find a fancy-ass Dodge Demon.
So is it fancy, or is it a Dodge Demon?
It's a Demon. It's not even fancy relative to other Dodge Demons. If you want that, you look at Ashland Chambers' car. But another new driver, one of the only two that are not a part of Southern Speed Co. this week, the other one being Bonnieville. Alice Timefield in her Audi R8 is already in the lead. Apparently she's like English Dutch or something. She runs under the British flag. Somewhere, Noir is the PV driver, so the second race, in a row where an NFR driver is the POV driver. And Buck just blocked her on corner exit, but she already has damage of her rear end somehow. Nearly had damage on the front end after Buck's interesting maneuver on the way out of that left-hander. Okay, well, we'll call that payback. Something, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what happened in turn 3, man.
That's turn 4.
I don't know what happened in turn 4, man.
Honey, it's time for your monthly admin beef. God knows this isn't the first time you and her have had a difference of opinion on something.
Not even the first time this season.
Not even the first time this week if your phone call issues, I mean to say. And, Tank Tomlin's in this race as well in a Group 3 Evo, which has also been damaged by somebody. Guys, Interlagos isn't that hard. I don't know what's really going wrong here. He moved in the braking zone, and you also hit Ellie, so you're just on a kill streak right now. You got Ellie, you got Noir.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get race cars and tanks, essentially. Yeah, that was complete accidental, because I also wasn't expecting Ellie to absolutely run over a GT3, and then I wasn't expecting that.
You weren't expecting cars to go slow at a slow corner? Only you could make as many clean overtakes as you can excuses. Be in the lead, not in the pits. Just saying.
Yeah, well.
I'm not even angry at you hitting Noir. That's not my problem. I'm angry that you're hitting Mercury cars more than anything, because Ellie gave me an earful to get you under control. And if I had a nickel for every time somebody has assumed I'm your handler, when you have like 20 different hellborn handlers somewhere in your garage on a given day, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but please shut the fuck up, people. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't own you.
Yeah, that's been outlawed for like 150 years.
Even if it were legal, I wouldn't want to own you. I wouldn't even want to rent you. Buyer's remorse would have a new definition. Bernice is already up to second. She started 5th, I think.
But yeah, I just gotta talk to Ellie post-race, because, yeah, I was not expecting her to run into a GT3 and stop it right in front of me. But anyways, speaking of right in front, let's see who's right in front of Noir. Oh, this is gonna be spicy.
Okay, he was already in the middle of overtaking a different Dodge driver. She's used to probably overtaking her teammate for that, which would be the one back here in 10th. I almost said brother, and I'm like, nope, that's not it.
Half brother.
I knew it was something, I just couldn't be fucked.
I'm going to hang up a poster of how every single one of these drivers is connected. But speaking of Dodges on this team in the race, Bernice is up to second, which is great for me.
Mentioned that already. And, well, the battle was relatively clean, all surprisingly. I think Katie has her sights set ahead more than behind at the moment. But Reiko's, that was a tiny bit of a squeeze. Katie did not like it, and you will have a curb for your troubles, Mishima. Bernice is going for the lead, down the inside, just dives it in on Alice. And the newbie was not prepared. There's something going on back here. We were watching the battle for the race lead. Not the only battle going on. Looks like just on new steer from the C8. Or a different, just a different line, I don't know, but I'm sure Noir will want her banned for a week. Oh boy, oh that's also understeer, because Noir ran over the curb.
Twice!
That one, the second one, nah, should have probably learned from the first curb, not hit the second one. And go down the hill, too wide. And Katie tried to move over half a lane. Any amount of pinching or forcing offline can be a little bit of defense, but I think that was a lost cause. So, Corvette should have an advantage on the straight, I would think. Unless Katie gets oversteer at a flat-out turn, which is almost impressive.
She tried to cross over Noir there.
Looks like she tried to cross over her own car, by the looks of it.
Yeah!
Battle for 5th. Mizuto down the inside of Mishima. I think that was very minor contact, if any. And through goes the F430. Funnily enough, if Alice didn't immediately join on behalf of Team AMT, she'd probably fit in on NFR if there were space. She has the same blonde pigtails as Isabel, just tied differently. It's actually tied more like Nozomi's hair. And Noir made quick work of the Audi and is right up to the back of Bernice, who, well, Bernice already has history with her teammates, so I can only imagine this will go smoothly.
Oh yeah, that was a fun little discussion had with Bernice after yesterday, and again before today.
Doesn't quite explain why you and Buck both ran into Noir.
Yeah, well, okay, but I had no idea about that.
Probably because trying to talk him down is like trying to convince a brick wall to crumble.
Yeah.
Bernice is holding the bottom. Never mind. She was holding the bottom. I guess she just tried to shorten the run to the finish. 2 laps to go. That camera's not terribly helpful, and there's no battle anyway. Never mind.
There is no lunge in the turn 1.
At least not from Noir. There was from Katie, who might be able to sneak around the outside. Now it's the inside, and yep, Corvette goes through. So Alice had the whole shot, but her momentum has run out in the late stages of this one.
Car performance versus driver ability.
Ugh. It's a lot of curb there. Well, Alice has had a move down the inside, but it ran out.
So we got a battle for the lead.
Yep. Noir just out-dragged Bernice on the way out of turn 5. Let's see if the Viper has any answer. This is going to be the section where I would assume the NSX would do better, but you never know. Aggression can sometimes be a substitute for ability. Yep, that's going to send it down the inside. Bernice goes. They make contact on exit. That's just the laws of physics, I think. Noirs make a last-second avoidance because Bernice's run stalled out on exit.
And Noir better be careful, because Katie is a-coming.
Didn't need to know that.
Okay, someone give me the manual, see if it's okay to bonk your co-commentator.
No. Bernice held the inside this time, so Noir had no play, but she's gonna miss turn 2. So now the NSX will have a shot around the outside. Mechanical grip will allow for that, but the Viper is gonna come back with horsepower. And yeah, Bernice did just enough to stay ahead there. Holds the inside at 4. Noir cares not. Oh, big contact. Noir shoved into the AstroTurf.
Sideways 2 keeps it straight. Here we go, up the hill, final time.
And again, pushed off nearly into the grass. Heard the horn of disapproval from Noir there. And yep, pays it back. Just smacks Bernice out of the way for that. I think that was honestly earned at that point. I think we've seen red, folks. down the
Speaking-
inside. Oh, turns the admin. She keeps it straight-ish, but Bernice is gonna just rattle her cage a little bit. By a little bit, I mean damn near put her in a half spin. And that's the last breaking. It's just short track racing. What was that conversation about anyway? Was it how to drive like Joey Logano?
No.
Well, it's clearly about how to win at Interlagos. Gets the win back she should have had at Fuji.
Yeah, and that, I believe, is her first win for Demon Sports, so...
No,
We gonna... Oh, when did
I
she
think
win?
she won in the first week.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. Yeah. Either way, we're still going party.
And, yeah, it is a 1-3 for Demon Sports. Noir second. Alice in the distance did hang on to fourth, so I guess her car ability... Her driving ability is not zero. Just, well, these three are top brass. And I think Katie probably had an advantage in her car as well. She has by far the newest one here, so... The only car made within the last 15 years out of the top 5, so... That'll be a few gray hairs on your head.
Wait, the Viper's how old?
2008. Well, technically it's a special version that came out in 2010, but that still makes it 15 years old. 2010, 2002, 2007, 2020. And even this is 2009, and this is 2016. So we'd have to go back to 6 to find the next car that was made within the last decade.
Noir's car's from the year I was born, and it's considered old.
And you're an old ass. Yeah, I'm a year older than you, so.
Yeah, calm down, Grandpa. Let's get you back to the nursing home.
Back in my day, the memory cards only had 8 megabytes.